Are you tired of talking about the class of '92?
No, I don't think I'm tired of it. I don't think anyone's tired of it because when you look back on it, I know I had a birthday party. Well, I've lost all track of days. Paul was travelling, but I thought it was last Friday. I had a birthday party and there was only a small one. It was Nev was there, Scholes was there, Bex was there. So I'm not tired of that because we're the best mates. I met them all when we was 12. So we're more like brothers than mates. So to say I'm tired of it would be a bit wrong of me, but it is a bit cringy because it's like what we're known as a class of '92, but it's just a something we've spoken about, and I'm sure it really riles a few people because if it was the other way around about the Liverpool lads or something, it'd rile me because you probably get sick of it. But we're a close bunch of lads. Sometimes we don't see each other for 6 months. Certainly with Bex, he's all over the world, but when you come together, it just drops back into type, and we're all having a laugh and a joke, and just mates.
I just remembered a clip I saw of Jamie Carragher talking about Liverpool. Did you see this clip?
No.
On the Overlap. So I think it was the Overlap, one of his shows, and he was talking about the Liverpool kids who came through, who he believes were better than the class of '92. It's just that they were a bit more spread out in age, because you're talking McManaman, Michael Owen, Jamie Carragher himself, of course Stephen Gerrard, a few more thrown into the mix who didn't quite hit the same highs. Dominic Matteo, for example. But that was his take.
Well, every single one of them are fantastic players, and Gerrard is phenomenal. One of the best of all time. Fowler, again, McManaman may get, but like you say, they're not in the same team.
Yeah.
So Gerrard will be 4 or 5 years younger. McManaman will be 2 or 3 years older. So, yeah, to say that is right. They had an unbelievable set of players that are all fantastic world-class players. But I think the thing with us was we was in the same youth team, and it's a bit different that because it doesn't usually happen where you get so many players that make it to a certain level in one youth team. But if you put theirs all in one youth team, then I think he would have a real good opinion on that. But I think with the spread out, we could start saying that about other players that were 2 or 3 years above us and below us. So.
What about Fergie's fledglings from the '80s? Not yours,
yeah,
but the ones, what was it, the '86 Youth Cup, I think they won?
It was that Norman Whiteside, Mark Hughes.
There was Mark Robbins, Lee Martin, Lee Sharp,
yeah.
Brought in.
Yeah, phenomenal. Listen, we don't go, we're better than that group or Liverpool's group or City's group, or it doesn't matter to us. We're just mates who did well for ourselves, played together a long time, and still mates now. And yeah, we'd never say that we've got a better group than you or you. It just is what it is. We just came through together from 12 and played a long time together and won a lot of things.
But that '80s Fergie's fledglings, did you look at them as inspiration and advice?
No.
A bit older than you?
No, we never. It wasn't until you retire that you look back and you see what Sir Alex did with the youth teams before us, when we was there, and then after us, because it was very, very clever what he did. He knew all our names at 13, he knew our parents' names at 13. If he was messing about at school, he'd go into the school and speak to the head teacher, and it was a really, really, really detailed thing what he did, and it was probably because he spotted the talent that not only we had in our group, but the ones after us and ones before us. And but we never set out going, this is what we've got to be. We've got to be this bred group of players that are going to go on and win this, and this, and be named class of '92. And we just got up every morning, we went training, worked our socks off, got our chance and took it. And it wasn't ever us sitting there going, right, we're going to do this together and we're going to get to it, and then Bex is going to become one of the most famous men on the planet, and then Giggs is going to score that goal, and Scholes is going to become one of the best midfielders of all time. It was never, you can't speak like that, it just happens. And you look, it's not until you get a bit older and sit in an armchair like this and you think, oh wow, yeah, it's actually quite a special thing what we did. I'm sure Liverpool lads do that when they look back together, and I'm sure that the City lads before them did that, and then teams after us and groups after us will do the same. You don't sit there and plan anything, you just go out and train and work hard and you get your rewards.
You'll never win anything with kids, eh?
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I always say, and he's a really good man, Alan Hansen, I met him a few times, and he was only saying what everyone was thinking, if I'm honest, except Sir Alex, obviously, but the rest of us, even me, remember driving back from that Aston Villa game thinking, I'm never going out in Manchester for the next 2 or 3 years because we're just embarrassed the football club. So, yeah, he's only said what everyone was thinking.
I've pretty much worked or met with most of the class of '92. And I'm just still taken aback by how humble everybody is, including Beckham. He came down here about almost exactly a year ago for the launch of the new Predator boots. So I was hosting it, and I had a moment alone with him because I was hosting, so it was just me and him. And I was just like, this is after his documentary came out on Netflix, and I mean, there was renewed interest in him. My wife said, I didn't realize Beckham was a good footballer. He was a phenomenal footballer. You don't captain England by being a lousy footballer. It's just you are taken aback by everything else when it comes to him. And I'm just like, wow, here we are 30 years or whatever years later, and all of you are so grounded.
I think you get that with most footballers, really. Most footballers are from humble backgrounds. You step out of line, you get swatted back down by your friends or your family. And then if they don't do it, your teammates do it if you're in a good team. You don't really get much chance to get carried away, and the manager that we had, the players we had in the changing rooms, and then you've got your own background of your family, your parents and your friends. And I've been in football since I was full-time, obviously, since I was about 15. And I can say out of all the footballers I've met, even opposition players, that's probably about as many, 10 is probably about as many people that you think are just not my cup of tea, don't really like them. And that's not a lot of how many players I've met and played and trained with. So yeah, footballers do get a bad name, and a lot of it comes down to the fact of jealousy of the kind of lifestyles they can lead, and the money that they get paid, and all the rubbish and the noise that comes with it. But fundamentally, a good 90% of the footballers I play with and trained with and work with are all good human beings.
Yeah. I will throw this in. They would know who you are. So maybe the attitude would be different. But for me, you've known me for 1 hour. You didn't know who I existed up until 60 minutes ago. But even then, Beckham, he meets me, he doesn't know who I am. Giggs meets me, he doesn't know who I am. But all so brilliant. It's really nice, I have to say. Good job to everybody who brought you guys up.
Cheers.